This is Arts Alive. I'm Linda Philippi, and my guest today is Courtney Terry, who is the Adult Services Coordinator at the McMinnville Public Library. So welcome, Courtney.
Thank you for having me, Linda.
It's lovely to meet you. What's going on at the library?
So many things. It's a bit exciting we've been having more and more programming that's kind of starting to come up, and probably one of the exciting things that we have going on right now that we haven't had going on for a long time is some of our teen programming.
Okay.
The library has teamed up with the MAC Parks and Rec, and it is so cool because Parks and Rec has made a maker space in their basement. Well, basement doesn't sound right. Their bottom floor.
I know where.
But basically, it's in that old preschool room. And it's so cool. You can go in there, and there's just crafts everywhere, all different kinds of crafts.
Oh, great.
We all got to do it. The library staff got to do a tour of it recently. And so to kind of help promote that, and then to kind of pick up with our teen programming, we've been doing, so this past Saturday or Friday night, we do teen game nights where teens can come into the library after hours.
Oh, fun. Play
on the computers, play board games. And we had over 40 kids come to the last game night, which is more than we've had since I can remember. And so it was so exciting to have, exciting and a little terrifying to have that
40
many
teenagers.
Yes, and especially the younger teens, the 13-year-olds, but. It was so cool. And then teens that come to the library program can get a bracelet that lets them go to a special teen swim at the swimming pool afterwards.
Oh, that's great.
So, we've just really found out that working with the Parks and Rec, because they offer so many great programs, and then we're trying to get our programs up and running again. And so that's going on this whole month. I think they're going to do a teen trivia night at the community center next Friday, the 18th. And I won't be there, but I kind of wish I would because I love trivia nights and I think they're really fun. But it'll be, hopefully the teens feel the same. I probably wouldn't get half the references in some of those trivia questions.
I'll tell you that a friend of mine, an older lady friend of mine, and I were in a bar a few years ago in Seattle, and we decided that we were going to sit in on a trivia night. Okay, we can do this, and they've got their teams going, right? And so we're there. The only category that we got right were sitcoms from the 90s, and only because I cheated and texted my daughter every single question. I didn't know any of them, and she texted me back. Other than that, we were completely lost. It was definitely not our generation. It was not geared to us. But so tell me, you were closed down for probably quite a while at the library, right? In terms of in-person services.
Yes. Well, and so, in a way, it's not bragging, but kind of bragging. The library, when we closed down in March 2020, we opened up again exactly 3 months later in June 2020. So the library building itself has been open for most of the last 2 years, but our programming, just having people in person, our Carnegie room was kind of used as a storage facility, but now we're just the room is getting cleared out and we'll be ready for programming and groups again. The Friends of the Library are having a gigantic book sale. It'll be this Saturday. It's usually the second Saturday of every other month. So it's this Saturday, and then it'll happen again in May.
Right.
And it's just. There's just so much potential. I'm so excited about it because the potential is back, and not necessarily knowing what kind of programs. It's also so for the first time in a few months, our poetry programming is back, which is our poetry nights that happen once a month, and we've been pretty much doing those on Zoom or Google Meet online. And it's great, but one thing I'm really excited about is up this coming spring and summer, the weather will be nicer. And so we'll have the potential to do some of those poetry programs outside.
That's going to be fabulous.
Which is just, I mean, pandemic or not, I think the more library programs we can have in a park or a beautiful outdoor setting it's exciting.
I think it's a great thing, and I also think that, you know, there's such pent-up demand. I mean, you're at the library, I do travel, but it's the same thing. My business is just like everybody wants to go everywhere right now.
Yeah.
And these kids who've been cooped up, and finally they're getting back to some of their activities, but they're starved for, you know, interpersonal connections and just like friends and all the things that everybody took for granted pre-pandemic. I think that it's a perfect renaissance for you, for the library, especially pairing with, you know, Parks and Rec, which is absolutely natural. It's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm I think we're bringing story times back.
Oh, good.
And that's probably one of the like pre-pandemic things. Also terrifying and adorable is after story time, there would always be a rush of the story time kids, you know, toddlers and younger, that would come into the library from the story time room, and then they would just it would be like a sea of children, just a tidal wave into our children's room. And just, I know folks say that libraries should be quieter, but we just don't have that kind of library anymore.
No.
And the sounds of so many kids and their parents just being excited to be there and being so loud. And the acoustics of the library is interesting too, because the way the stair is over the children's room, it creates this like perfect sound tunnel. So the noise from the children's room, we can hear it upstairs. And I mean, it's definitely the last month or so we've noticed like a huge uptick in people coming in.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I know, it's so nice to have.
That's wonderful.
People coming in, and it is tax season, so we have a lot of people coming in asking questions about taxes. But I think the other day when I was on the desk, at one point I had to call out 3 other librarians to help me with people's questions. And Jenny, our library director, came out, and at first she was like, "What is that noise? Like, what's going on?" And then she looked, and it was just like the library was so busy, and you know, each of us, like 4 different librarians, were helping 4 different people. And she took a picture of it because she said it was just so exciting because it sounded like the way the library used to. And I can appreciate it after the moment. In the moment, it was a little chaotic.
A little overwhelming sometimes, probably, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it feels so good to have this sense of kind of opening up more and seeing more of the community coming back in person. But of course, we still are doing the home deliveries, so for those folks that just aren't ready to come back into the library building, we can still deliver their books to them. You
know, I noticed that the other day because I belong to 2 book groups, and one book group uses books from the library, and they use some from Salem Library and some from McMinnville Library, I think even some from Newburgh. But they said, well, would you take the books back? And I said, sure. So I'm taking the books back in, and I noticed it said home delivery. I thought, I didn't know anything about that. Interesting.
Yeah, and that actually, before we reopened in 2020, that was what we did while the library building was still shut down. And Adam Carlson, the circulation supervisor, and his whole team, they've just done an amazing job of getting it set up and organized. And I've gotten to go out a couple times on the deliveries, and it is pretty exciting because you do get to go all around town. And we actually deliver also to Yamhill and Carlton and Lafayette, kind of those cities that don't have the library service in town. But yeah, it's just been amazing.
That's a great option, a very great option for people that either can't get there or are afraid to go out. Because honestly, I do know there are people who are still saying, I won't go out, I'm not going to go out for the foreseeable future. And I mean, it's kind of self-imposed isolation, but it can still feel pretty lonely, I would imagine, without the company of something. Books are great. I mean, a person can only watch so much television, right?
Yes.
And then you think, oh, there's got to be something else. I think that's fabulous. So tell me a little bit about what you do. I mean, I see that, on when you're crunch time or something, but in general, what does your job look like?
So I am adult services. We are most of the upstairs. A lot of what we do is adult and teen programming. So the adult summer reading, winter reading, teen winter and summer reading, any of the programs for adults. We also do upstairs. There's the internet computers. So a lot of what we do is tech help. Troubleshooting.
Okay.
We can absolutely do that. You know, people can come, especially when it's involving our online services. Like we have the Libby app where you can get the listen to audiobooks or read ebooks for free from the library. And so a lot of folks will come in with their devices. And we also just get good old-fashioned reference questions, which I love to get. And, you know, sometimes it's like, what's the weather in Hawaii right now? Or we have one person that is very politically active. They do a lot of writing to different political figures. And so it's just been really interesting because they'll call up and say, hey, who's the chairperson of this committee? Or where is this bill right now in the Senate? And so we all get to practice. It's
Googling.
Yeah, well, but it's just a good old-fashioned information hunt. And
Sure.
I'm trying to make something that sounds really nerdy, sound really cool and exciting, but it is for us. And that's one of the best parts about it is, you know, we have our regulars and we do the same things every day, but it's always a little bit different. You always have, you know, even the same people you see every day, you have a different interaction with them every day, or you get asked a different question. And so I love, you know, being part of the community and like knowing our regulars and knowing what's going on, but then also kind of getting these little surprises every day.
Sure.
It's a lot of fun. And at the team we have at the library, just all the staff are amazing, and that helps. I think we all genuinely care about each other, and so that makes, you know, the programs that we take out to the public and the way that we interact with the people that come in makes a big difference. But that's getting really cheesy, but I feel very strongly about my library.
Here's the thing, that makes you perfect for the job that you do because you're enthusiastic and you're passionate about it, and that can't help but spill out and, you know, spill over to everyone you interact with. Okay, so let's run down your timeline then again of the things that are coming up soon.
Yes, so this Saturday is the Friends of the Library book sale.
Okay.
And then next Friday, the 18th, is the Teen Trivia Night.
Okay.
And that'll be with Parks and Rec, and that's at the Community Center.
Okay.
And then over spring break at the library, we'll have a lot of take-home crafts, different activities for kids that are on a staycation with their family.
Oh, right.
And
Spring
then
break.
Poetry Night will be the first Thursday in April, which I believe is the 7th.
Okay.
And it's planned online for now, but that one's especially exciting. We'll have Anis Mojani, the Oregon Poet Laureate, will be doing a reading on the 7th at 6 o'clock. And all of this is on the library calendar, so maclibrary.org, and then just click the library calendar. And the calendars used to be pretty sparse, but now there's been more and more things that are coming back to them, and so it's been exciting.
More filled up days than empty days, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's got to feel good for you.
Very good.
Well, Courtney, I'm really glad to meet you, and I wish you a lot of success with all these upcoming programs as spring and summer goes along, and that, you know, cross our fingers, everybody stays healthy and we don't have some new variant coming along to throw us back into the Stone Age. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Linda.